All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the chat. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Happy, what is it? Tuesday. Tuesday. Looking to see, just letting it breathe here for a second, making sure sound and image is all good. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're all having a good night. We're going to just relax into it with some little drinky poos, a little bit of Neville Goddard. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm assuming we're all good, and we are all good. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. And we're here again. I've been really enjoying these live streams. It's something that I look forward to every Tuesday, Thursday, and what is it? Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday around 6. Today we're doing it 7, but 6 to 7, somewhere in there in the evenings is when we're doing it. But thank you guys so much for being here. There's a lot more to get into. Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you're feeling good, how you're feeling, how your manifestations are going, what your new belief systems are, what you've been changing, what you've been diving into as of recently. How's everything going? I really enjoy doing the Neville Goddard talk. This is all his main work here that I've read, and we've been going through Feeling is the Secret. And that's been a lot of fun, and I enjoy that being the theme of these videos. But I also want it to be just like an open discussion where you guys can have your questions answered and ask any question that you want, whether it's about me or about you or about something that you may be going through. I really want this to just be an open community, an open communication to where we all feel safe and we can all be vulnerable with each other. We can all discuss our questions. We can share with our comments what we've been going through, our ups and downs, our challenges. All of it is on the table. So don't be shy in the chat. I really want to get to know you guys. And hopefully, if you have any questions for me, throw them out there. It's not all just one thing, these live streams. We're kicking back. We're chilling. Hope you guys have your drinks, whatever your beverage of choice is for the evening. And cheers, everybody. We'll get started here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're on chapter 2 of Feeling is the Secret. It's the chapter about sleep. We're about halfway through the chapter. If you missed the last live stream, go check it out. It's on my YouTube channel under live streams, the playlist live streams. You can check that out so you can get all caught up and know where we're at, what we're talking about. But we're just going to dive in here. Again, if you're in here, let me know that you're here. Chat it up, and we'll just get going here. So I'll start with this quote in the Bible. We ended with this last time, but I'll start with it. Sorry, I don't have it doesn't show the verses in this book, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to just kind of chat GPT it and see, what all these are, so you guys can reference it yourself in the Bible. But he calleth things that are not seen as though they were, and the unseen becomes seen. I feel like that's just a good place to start, because if you are waiting around for things on the outside to change before you decide to change, so what you'd actually be doing is waiting for the outside to reflect something that you're not yet. That's not how it works. And that's why people get so stuck and caught in their own web with these kind of things and wonder why their manifestations aren't coming and wonder why they feel like they can't shed a belief system, or they wonder why the same circumstances or the same people keep being just not nice, just not good to them, or why something in their career isn't working out. Well, that's because you're waiting for the change on the outside to then allow you to change, but you have to make that change first. So he calleth things that are not seen as though they were. So you call it as if it is seen, because it is. And then the unseen becomes seen. So we'll keep moving with this. To assume the feeling of satisfaction is to call conditions into being which will mirror satisfaction. Signs follow, they do not precede. So again, if you're waiting around, they're not gonna they're not going to follow if you're not allowing a vibration that feels good to you. Signs follow, they do not proceed. So you got to feel it as done. You got to feel the wish fulfilled first, and then you will see it reflected on the outside. Proof that you are will follow the consciousness that you are. It will not precede it. So whatever your consciousness level at, whatever you're vibrating at, whatever you're assuming is real right now, whether or not it's manifested or not, that is what you'll be calling into your life. That is what you will be shifting to in your life. You are an eternal dreamer, dreaming non-eternal dreams. You are an eternal dreamer, dreaming non-eternal dreams. Your dreams take form as you assume the feeling of their reality. Do not limit yourself to the past. Knowing that nothing is impossible to consciousness, begin to imagine states beyond the experiences of the past. Knowing that nothing is impossible to consciousness, begin to imagine states beyond the experiences of the past. So if you're hanging on to the past and you're saying, well, I've tried this before, Max. I've tried this before and it didn't work. And so I'm not going to try it again because I didn't see it work. So what's the point? I don't want to waste my time. Well, you're only getting in your own way there because you can't get there from there. If you hang on to the past, then the past will continue to repeat itself and it will continue to loop and loop and loop. You can get through it. You don't have to cling to the past experiences. The past is done. Whatever was going on in the past is done. You don't have to keep recreating it, but you will keep recreating it if you keep thinking the same thoughts of the past. So my microphone keeps going down. Hang on, sorry. So don't worry if you have those thoughts. Don't worry. Don't get caught up in it. You know, the past is the past. So just let it go. Be with yourself and just continue to move forward, knowing that nothing is impossible to consciousness. So if you can imagine it in your mind, then you can hold it in your hand. It is real. It is real. It is real. Because all time is now. And if you want it, you can have it. Whatever the mind can imagine, man can realize. There you go. All objective, visible states were first subjective, invisible states. So objective states are the visible states that you see all around you. You see what's already manifested. That is the objective state. That is what is already manifested. That's what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. That's what you've been experiencing and repeating on loop because you haven't been creating deliberately. You're using these laws all the time. They're always in action. You're using them without realizing you're using them. So part of the reason I'm sharing this is so that we can all be more conscious of the fact that we are using them all the time. All the time. So, maybe because, is that too loud? I'm working with my microphone here. Maybe that's because it's too loud. I'm getting too loud. Oh boy. Maybe it goes down automatically. All right, this sounds okay, right, Madison? At this level? All right. So, all objective visible states were first subjective invisible states, and you call them into visible by assuming the feeling of their reality. You're assuming the feeling of their reality. The creative process is first imagining and then believing the state imagined. Always imagine and expect the best. So, let's take that apart. The creative process is first imagining and then believing the state imagined. So all you got to do is create the image in your mind that is ideal for you. Anything that you want in your life, you can have. Anything that you can imagine is already real and already manifested in real time. It's a literal thing. It's not out there in space. It's not out there in the ether. It's not out there where you can't have it. It's not in some dream world. It is actually literally happening right now because the future you that already has this is already experiencing it because everything that you can imagine under the sun is already imagined. It is already manifested. And so all you're doing is getting into the state of being, in the state of consciousness, to then allow it to reflect in your reality so that you can have it yourself. So yeah, the world cannot change until you change your conception of it. As within, so without. That's from the Bible. The world cannot change until you change your conception of it. So if you have a conception of the world that is negative, and you're looking at politics, or you're looking at the state of the world, or you're watching the news and saying these are the worst of times, well, then that's what you're going to continue to perpetuate and experience. Because again, you're the one experiencing it. You're the one creating all the chaos that you see all around you. You're the one. There's no one else that is doing it. There's no one else responsible for it. We are all fully responsible for the world that we are creating and the world that we are experiencing it. The world that we are experiencing. Unconditionally, we're creating everything in our reality. Even the bad stuff, even the stuff you see on the news, on some level, we are creating with that. And it might be something, I mean, look, we were born into certain situations. So, but it's not like we didn't have choice as to what we were born into. So we chose to be born at a time that has all these things and is going through a great change like we're going through now. So that is something that we created initially. And it is something that we perpetually recreate when we just continue to watch the news. We continue to see what's around us. And then we just keep re-experiencing it because we keep thinking the same thoughts. We buy into belief systems. We buy into our friends or our colleagues or our teachers or our parents or whoever that has implanted belief systems that this is just how the world is. This is how it is. And you just got to accept it and move through it and push through it and force your way through it. That's not the case. So don't listen to that. You can start changing your thoughts to change your reality at any given time. It is not something that is thrust upon you without your permission. It is something that you always accept on some level. And that's why you continue to experience that as being true. So don't buy into those lies that you just have to accept the way things are. You're literally creating your own reality. You've heard that before. You do create it because we are all creators, because we all are the one creator. It's what we're meant to do, so we can create whatever life we want. And the more that we continue to think new thoughts and replace old belief systems that are old energy and old baggage and old triggers and old this and old that with new, more benevolent, filled with light and high vibration belief systems, the more that we will then shift to versions of Earth and versions of ourselves that is representative of the change that we have made in ourselves. You don't change the world around you. You change yourself, and then the outside world reflects that change. That is just how it works. That is literally just physics, and that is what is written in the Bible, and that is Neville Goddard's interpretation of it, and that's why we're talking about this, to give you a new perception, a new interpretation of the Bible that isn't just so plain and simple. It isn't read to be literal. It isn't so religious. There's a lot more to it, and that's why I'm happy to share it with you guys. So cheers to that. Anyone in the chat, hope you're drinking, hope you're having, doesn't have to be any type of drink, but just hopefully you're having your beverage of choice this evening and cozying up with a blanket. And because the nice and cozier you can be, the more that you're going to be able to receive this information, feel it, and then start applying it in your life. So let's just all relax together. Again, if you're here and you're in the chat and you have any questions, you have any comments, if you want to talk about something completely unrelated, just put it in the chat. We don't have to talk about Neville Goddard the whole time, but until, the chat really starts juicing, we're going to keep talking about Neville. And hopefully we keep talking about Neville and the laws of the universe and creating better versions of ourselves in the chat as well. So again, there's no wrong questions, no wrong answers, nothing wrong. Don't feel worried about putting anything in this chat. This is a very safe space. Nations as well as people are only what you believe them to be. Again, so Matt, it's crazy. Like whenever I read this, I read it, I explain it, and then Neville goes into it. And I haven't read this, I've read this before, but I don't read this prior to jumping on here. I kind of like it to be fresh and not pre-planned. I like to figure it out as we go and dissect it as we go. This helps me so much as well, to continue to share it and then teach you guys and share with you what my interpretation of what these words are. Really helps me ingrain it in myself. So I really appreciate all you guys being here for all that. All right, nations as well as people are only what you believe them to be. No matter what the problem is, no matter where it is, no matter whom it concerns, you have no one to change but yourself. And you have neither opponent nor helper in bringing about the change within yourself. You must do it yourself. You have nothing to do but convince yourself of the truth of that which you desire to see manifested. As soon as you succeed in convincing yourself of the reality of the state sought, results follow to confirm your fixed belief. I love it so much. Doesn't that make sense to you? Oh, God. Yeah. Cheers, brother. Playing some video games with you up on my other screen. Oh, man. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. I don't want to distract you too much. But that's awesome. You're just looking like this, and then you just look over and see me freaking out or saying something. I don't know how you focus on multiple things. I'm trying to learn to do it. Bouncing with the chat, bouncing with this, whatever my thoughts are coming up. But thank you, Daniel Pushkis 4460. We're hoping to get him on the stream very soon, back to getting on Twitch and getting his subscribers. He's a great gamer and everything, but appreciate you jumping in here, pal. Thank you so much. I appreciate the watch time. Everything helps on here, you know? Yeah, streaming will make you good at multitasking. Yeah, it's great. And like just being turned on the whole time, you know? Like whenever I was watching you, it's like, it really is like you're turned on watching the video games. You're turned on like with your reactions. You're checking the chat. You're doing all this. It's like, it's real work. It really is. So, I don't know. It's just pretty cool to bounce back and forth like that. So it's similar to streaming, what we're doing here. I mean, this is streaming. This is a live stream. So what am I talking about? All right. I want to read that paragraph again because it's just so juicy. You have nothing to do but convince yourself of the truth that which you desire to be manifested. So as soon as you succeed in convincing yourself of the reality of the state sought, results follow to confirm your fixed belief. So literally all you have to worry about in your life is just convincing yourself that what you want to become, that what you want to do in your life already exists right now simultaneously. It's not out there somewhere. You don't have to freaking convince yourself or figure out how or know when or anything like that. You just have to know that it exists. And the more that once you can actually convince yourself that it does exist, then it will be manifested into your reality. It's a matter of time. But again, I say this every stream. Don't expect it to be or look in a certain way or the exact way that you think it should manifest or the exact way that you have imagined it that you want it to manifest, because that is a limitation. What your mind can conceive is only a limitation because we're human, but the higher self sees from the mountaintop. So it sees all the options, it sees all the possibilities that could be far greater and far grander than anything that your physical mind can conceive or imagine up. Even if it is the most exciting thing that you could possibly imagine, that's still like a limitation of what could actually be manifested in your life. So that's the super cool thing. That's how powerful we are. That's how much we can actually allow to come forth in our life if we would just allow it to happen. If we could just focus on the work that we do being to convince ourselves of our beliefs, to convince ourselves of the things that we want to create in our lives. And if we can do that, that's the best work that we can do, because the results will follow, the opportunities will come and present themselves. And the best thing about all that is when they do present themselves, you will feel ready, you'll feel excited about it, and you'll feel like, yes, this is the next best step. This makes a lot of sense that this is coming right now, because everything does make, it doesn't always make a lot of sense. I'll take a step back from that. I was going to say that it always makes sense. I would say it doesn't always make sense because, again, we can't know exactly why something is manifesting the way that it does. But when it does, even if something unexpected manifests, we can know in our heart that it's manifesting for a good reason, to teach us something, to show us something, even if it's just to reflect to us something that we've been repressing in our belief systems or in our subconscious or our unconscious mind. Then that's an amazing thing that we can allow to go to the side, go to the wayside, and replace it with something more positive. But sometimes things that are seemingly negative will manifest just because it might need to steer us in a new direction. It might need to wake us up to, "Ooh, I don't exactly like this part of what is going on," or "I actually don't think this is as fun as I thought it would be now that it's manifested. So I need to pivot a little bit and go down a different road to see where that takes me." And again, just being unconditional, not having an expectation of what it needs to look like, when it needs to come, where it needs to come, how it needs to come, because that's all going to put limitation on your path. You just need to accept it as it comes, be grateful for it as it comes, take it as it comes, and keep moving forward with the synchronicities that will inevitably come when you are convincing yourself of your new belief systems and convincing yourself of what you want to manifest, that it's actually real, that you are already experiencing it, that you are already it. And the sooner you can do that, the rest will follow. Because we don't need the conditions to change in order for us to fully be ourselves. We don't need conditions to change in order for us to fully be ourselves. The faster that we can embody that belief system, the more things will start coming to us even faster, because then there's no expectation. We're being unconditional. We're expressing ourselves. We're expressing this creative passion for its own sake, not because of what we think it's going to get us or where it's going to take us or who we're going to meet or how we're going to manifest it or what it's going to bring to us. That all gets in the way of what can actually come to us. We're just doing it for its own sake. We're doing it as unconditional creators that we are, to just simply allow our authentic selves to be expressed, because that's what we came here to do anyways. We came here to authentically express ourselves, and the rest follows, just as he says. So fix yourself on that belief, people. Oh yeah. All right. You never suggest to another the state which you desire to see him express. Instead, you convince yourself that he is already that which you desire him to be. Okay, here we go. So if there's something that, or someone that is being a bother in your life, maybe, or there's somebody that you just are really rooting for in your life, you're rooting for their opportunity, you're rooting for their success, you don't try to suggest the state that you desire to see to them. So you don't say to them like, "Hey, this is what you need to do. This is what I think. Um, this is how I think you need to behave." You don't have to start convincing them. Although this is like my passion expression, to just express and share this, like just because that is my passion. So you can do something similar to what I'm doing, which is sharing and offering to you guys possibilities of what you can do that would actually change your life if you would convince yourself that it is real. Because it's just the law of the universe, it's the law of assumption, it's the law of attraction, it's all those things. But if there is someone that you're wanting to see them healed, or you're wanting to see them be successful, or you're wanting to see them be kinder to you, or anything under the sun, like whatever it might be, you don't need to go to them and say, like, "Oh, you need to start treating me better. You need to start doing this or that." The more that you can convince yourself that they have already changed, that they already are behaving, and you can use your imagination to see them treating you better or to see them in their success, then that will naturally shift you to the version of them and the version of yourself that is experiencing them in their success, or is experiencing them being kinder to you, or whatever it might be. So you never suggest to another the state that you desire to see him express, him or her. Instead, you convince yourself that he or she is already that which you desire him or her to be. So if you just already assume that they are that which you want to be, or they already are successful, they're already treating you better. This could be your parents, your teachers, colleagues, your coworkers, whatever. If you can see them as you want them to be and convince yourself that that's already real, then you will see them start shifting. That's the cool thing, man. And that's the best thing about all this, is that we're not waiting on the outside to change in order for us to see change. We are taking the helm of the ship and steering it in the direction that we desire. because we are that powerful and we can create anything in our reality that way. Morgumi, yo, I'm back. What's up? How's it going? Cheers. Did you DoorDash another beer for this special occasion? Good to see you back here, man. Hope all's going well. And DoorDash yourself something good for me because I can't. But cheers, brother. Good to see you back. Morgumi, where does that come? Where does that name come from? Am I saying that right? Morgumi. Let me know where that name comes from. It's very, very interesting to me. Cheers. I still have beer. Nice. Hell yeah, man. Drink up. Cheers. Yeah, my name is Morgan. Okay. Morgumi. I love it. What's up, Morgan? All right. I got that. That's easy to remember. All right. Good to see you. And I made it sound Japanese. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Are you Japanese? Are you part Japanese? Or you just kind of like that that vibe? You never know with like I'm just a weeb. That's fine, man. That's fine. Well, good to see you back, man. Let me know. I want to hear about, the any progress or anything that you're going through that feels like because with your soulmate that you want to get back and everything. Let me know how that's going or how you're feeling, or if you have any questions about anything that we're talking about, or want to make a comment on how it's going and everything. But I used to use Nizumi as my screen name, which means mouse. I'm honestly in a real bad state with that. Real bad state with what? What's going on? Well, don't be in a bad state. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But it's all good that you're in a bad state. So don't beat up on yourself. Did a lot of dumb stuff. I feel like she can't trust me again. Well, okay. Well, what did I say last time? Feeling is the secret, right? So if you're feeling like she can't trust you anymore, then that is what you're going to continue experiencing. That is what you are consciously impressing your subconscious with. And so when you are consciously saying that I don't think she's going to trust me again, then you're impressing that with the subconscious. And because the subconscious is respecter of no man, it's just unconditional to what you believe and what you think and what you actually feel to be true, it's going to continue to put that out there. So just know that. But you don't have to freak out about it or worry about it too much, but that will continue to perpetuate itself. And so if you're waiting for something on the outside with that situation to change, it's just never going to come. You got to feel it within. Well, it's gray too, gray too, yeah, gray area. Because she refused to see me in person for over a year. Yeah, I try not to say those things in my head just when I'm explaining it to others. Okay, well, here's something you could practice is start explaining it to others in a different way. Like you don't have to continue explaining what's already manifested or what has been. You can start creating a different frame around this whole thing, because it starts with how you start explaining it to others. Like if you are explaining it to others, just you could go neutral with it. You don't have to say, oh, you don't have to like jump from 0 to 100 and say, oh, she's been texting me, she's been saying all these things, she wants me back, she wants me back. To like, it's best not to share that and explain yourself to others in that way, because if you haven't fully convinced yourself in your imagination or in your mind, then your mind's just going to say, oh, bullshit, 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 like you aren't fully there yet. So what you can start doing first is okay, this is perfect. Imagine in your own mind, when you're in this, what I talked about last time, being in that drowsy state right before going to sleep, imagine in your own mind telling your best friend or telling whoever's really important to you that you think you would share this with first. So if this soulmate decided to reach out to you and said, I want you back, baby, come on. If that happened, who would you tell first? Who would you be the most excited to share that with? And this is just me kind of going at this. But start imagining that scenario in your head and playing it through as the first person, seeing that as the first person, and just see what feelings that starts creating. because you don't have to explain yourself to others. This is something I've talked about as well. We always feel like we have to explain ourselves to so many other people and explain what is like. We can let that go. We could stop explaining everything to people. That's what's already manifested. Give it a break for a little bit, and just start going into your own imagination instead of feeling like you have to explain what's going on, because you're just perpetuating and continuing to impress your subconscious mind every time that you explain your situation to anybody. And this can do with anything on any subject, but you're just going to keep consciously expressing that, impressing that into your subconscious, and then it's just going to keep, you're going to feel in the cycle, this loop cycle. You're going to be feeling down on yourself and all that. So just start small, go neutral a little bit, and just start creating that. That would be something that, just play around with that idea that you are talking to your best friend or whoever's the most important to you, whoever you think you would be the most excited to share with. Hey, I got her back, man. Start imagining that in your mind and just give it a break. Like, stop explaining it to people. Just give it a break for a little bit. Go neutral with it. Do other things, find other interests, do things that are lighting you up and that feel really good to you for a little while, and see where that ends up taking you. Because then something will change. Something will change inside you, or some circumstance on the outside will eventually reflect itself to you once you do convince yourself of that new belief or that new thing that you want, or that the soulmate is reaching back out to you. Yeah, try go on. True. Would you do any one-on-one calls per chance? Yeah, absolutely. I'm working the logistics of that right now, but yeah, there's an email in the link to my bio of my YouTube that you can find, so you can reach out to me there. It's Maxwell Miller Collab at gmail.com. You can reach out to me there, and then we can start talking about something. We can really get this going, and we can really start strategizing it. This is exactly what Neville Goddard used to do. He would reach out to people, or people would reach out to him, and then he would help them devise all of that. So I would love to be that reincarnate and do the same thing. I mean, that is my passion, and I love this stuff. And we can really start looking into it. So, and get you just on the right mind track and everything. But yeah, appreciate it. Right on. Thanks, man. Yeah, of course, dude. My pleasure. Thank you for all the comments and being brave and sharing this with the listeners and with myself. It's not something that's always easy to do. So definitely appreciate you, and just keep going and just give that a try. Just start it and stop explaining yourself to others. Stop feeling like things on the outside need to change first, and start doing things that you actually enjoy. Start expressing yourself. Start doing what you've been wanting to do, that you have been keeping yourself from doing. Start expressing yourself in the manner that you have been, like the way that you used to when you were a kid. We lost that kid inside of us. So many of us, pretty much all of us at some point, have lost that child inside, where we just felt like we could express ourselves. We didn't care what anyone thought. We need to re-inhabit that child as adults. We could be children as adults, we could still go about it. So just don't take yourself or life too seriously. Don't take any of it too seriously. It's going to help you out. Take a breath. It's all good. It doesn't all have to happen right now. The right thing that is meant to happen will come into your life at the right time. So appreciate that. And cheers, everybody. Anybody else that's here, feel free to drop into the chat. We're talking about Neville Goddard. We're reading Feeling is the Secret right now. It's probably his most famous book. Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. We're on the chapter about sleep, and we're just taking it apart, because sleep is a very important thing in getting into that subconscious state to impress your subconscious mind with the things that you want, and therefore being able to convince yourself of it a lot better. So where were we? Man awake. Okay. Change of belief. All right. All right. Realization of your wish is accomplished by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Assuming the feeling that would be yours, Morgan, if your lover hit you up and said she wanted you back, or something similar, right? So you cannot fail unless you fail to convince yourself of the reality of your wish. So that's why, I just want to jump into this real quick. Jim Rohn, who was Tony Robbins' mentor as he was coming up, would always say Work harder on yourself than on your job. Work harder on yourself than on your career. And that's what we're talking about right here. We need to start working harder on ourselves and convincing ourselves that what we want is actually real and what we want actually exists in real time right now. If we can just work a little bit harder, and it's not like don't work hard at it, but just work in a more focused manner towards it. And if we can go like, just start with like 55-45, like we're putting more attention, 55% on ourselves and 45% on our job, our career, and everything like that. If we would just take the time to work harder and work more on ourselves, even though it doesn't pay the bills right away, which it will, it absolutely will in time pay the bills. But if you would work, because if you work on yourself, you're going to start creating everything that you want. You're going to start expressing yourself authentically. You're going to start shining your light in the way that you wanted to when you decided to incarnate. And therefore, everything that you want and everything that is actually necessary, that you actually need in your life to continue to perpetuate your self-expression, will start coming to you. It will. And then you will feel inspired to action, and you will feel inspired to work harder on yourself. And it won't feel like you're working hard or working at all. You're just going to be feeling great working on yourself and changing your belief systems and figuring out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and what you align with and what you don't, like using the contrast to your benefit instead of just looking at the contrast of life and saying, oh, I did something wrong, I messed up, God hates me, God doesn't love me anymore, God's taking away my blessings, I did something wrong, so now the blessings are going to go away, I made a mistake and now the blessings are going to go away. That is not how it works. That is not how God works. That is not how an unconditionally loving being works. If you're unconditional, it means that it doesn't matter what you do or don't do. You're fully loved and fully appreciated no matter what. So just take that to the bank. Let's work harder on ourselves for a little bit and just see what happens. Just give it a chance. Just 5% harder on yourself than you've been working on your career or your job. Okay? Just try it and see what happens. And let me know in the chat if something changes, please. All right. So, a change in belief is confirmed by a change of expression. Every night, as you drop off to sleep, feel satisfied and spotless, for your subjective lover always forms the objective world in the image and likeness of your conception of it, the conception defined by your feeling. So that's a lot. It's crazy. Every little paragraph, every little sentence is so packed. And I know Neville, he talks in certain ways. That's why I'm here describing it. So let's read it again. So a change in belief, we'll take it apart. A change in belief. God, it's like these are only a couple pages that I'm doing, but it can take hours to just go through a couple of pages. It's awesome because it's just so filled with so much knowledge and wisdom and things that you can actually apply in your life. So a change of belief is confirmed by a change of expression. So let's start there. A change of belief is confirmed by a change of expression. So if you decide that you are going to change a belief system, something that no longer feels good to you, and you start noticing that you are expressing yourself differently because you have changed that is the universe's reflection to you that you're on the right path, that you're doing something right, that you are implementing belief systems that actually work for you and that are aligned with your truth, which your truth isn't going to be the same as Joe's or as Schmo's or as whoever's truth. Everyone's truth is a little bit different. And sometimes it aligns, but most of the time it's different. That's why we can't compare ourselves to others. And that's why we can't worry about what other people are thinking about our self-expression or the way that we put ourselves out into the world. We can't worry about those things. Change in belief is confirmed by the change of expression. So just know, if you start noticing that or start feeling that you're changing the way that you're expressing yourself, either a creative passion or the way that you are expressing yourself in the world, that's your green light. And that is how you can celebrate with yourself. And like when you catch yourself in those moments, please just celebrate those moments. Take a moment. Don't just let it be fleeting. Don't just kind of experience it and keep moving on. Like feel it, fully in the moment. Feel what that feels like and appreciate yourself and notice the fact that because you have decided to convince yourself of a new belief system, and now you are starting to see yourself expressing differently out into the world, you got to take a moment to appreciate yourself and notice that. Because the more that you do that, the more it will seep into you and be ingrained into your heart. And then it'll just be your natural state of being. And you won't have to keep reminding yourself, oh, I changed my belief system. Don't forget. And you're not going to have to do that. Every night as you drop off into sleep, feel satisfied and spotless. For your subjective lover, the subconscious is our subjective lover, the female version, the female side of the coin of consciousness. Your subjective lover always forms the objective world, what is visible, in the image and likeness of your conception of it, how you see the world to be, how you see yourself to be, how you see whatever situation or circumstance to be. That's what it's going to reflect to you unconditionally in its own likeness of your conception of it. And therefore, the conception defined by your feeling will be what you experience. So the waking 2/3 of your life on earth ever corroborates or bears witness to your subconscious impressions. The actions and events of the day are effects, and they are not causes. Free will is only freedom of choice. So the waking 2/3 of your life on earth ever corroborates or bears witness to your subconscious impressions. So whatever you are impressing into your subconscious is what you will eventually experience in your reality. The actions and events of the day are effects, they are not the causes. So whatever's going on going on in your day is not the cause of your next action. Does that make sense? So whatever happens in your day that you feel like causes you to take a different action or causes you to have a knee-jerk reaction or triggers you or whatever it might be, that's not a cause that is pushing you to your next action. The actions and events of the day are effects, they are not causes. For free will is only freedom of choice. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve. Is your freedom to choose the kind of mood you assume, but the expression of the mood is the secret of the subconscious. So the secret of the subconscious is not just to, again, we have to treat it as our lover, right? We're not going to say to our lover, hey, I command you to do this. You need to do this right now. You need to bow down to me. You're my slave. None of that. You don't treat your subconscious like that. You treat it gently, like a lover. And if you do that, then it will start to outpicture what you are impressing it with. The expression of the mood is the secret of the subconscious. So again, if you're noticing that you are changing your mood, that you are changing, that your expression has changed, if you're noticing that, then that means the subconscious has been impressed and is working towards outpicturing it so that you can see it in your life. But the key is, again, not to have expectation of when it needs to come or what it needs to look like. Do not insist or assume that it needs to look or like a certain thing. You have to let it go completely. Once you have noticed that you are expressing yourself differently, once you have garnered the maximum amount of excitement and pleasure and satisfaction from what you are expressing or what you are experiencing in your imagination, then you have to release it completely once you hit that climax. Oh, this is perfect. God, it's like everything to do with how freaking babies are made, man. Once you hit the climax, that's impressed into the subconscious, and then the subconscious will soon give birth to your expression, will give birth to that manifestation. But don't be tied to what it needs to look like or when it needs to come or how it needs to come. Just let it go completely. Once a lady is pregnant, she's pregnant. You're not sitting around wondering if that baby is going to fully form in the womb and be birthed. There's just a natural thing that happens, whatever that thing is. That's why Neville says, like, in a way known only unto itself. In a way known only unto itself, the subconscious outpictures what is meant to be manifested from your desires, from what you want, from what you imagine in your mind. It'll happen. Takes 9 months for a baby human to be born, 12 months for a horse. Morgan and others heard me say this before, like 2 years for an elephant, like 5 months for a lamb. It's different for everybody. So, like, I know that there's no way you're going to say no, but does this really work? I don't want to get my hopes up if not, because going by the normal 3D logic, my situation's going to take a miracle. Okay, well, there's a lot. Of course, I'm not going to say no. That's what everything that I'm talking about. That's the thing. This is the law of the universe. It's literally just physics. It's not some woo woo teaching. It's not some kind of like spiritual technique that is like ethereal or you can't like, really grasp. This is just how reality works. If you can convince yourself, but the fact that you're even asking that question, Morgan, means that you're not allowing yourself to convince yourself fully of what it is, which is fine. It's fine to have questions and not be totally there yet. You can work your way. Again, it's going to take practice and dedication and discernment and discipline to continually convince yourself that something exists, that a belief system works, that because whatever you want, you can have, whatever you want to become, you can become because it already exists right now simultaneously. Physically, it's not some kind of ethereal thing. It's actually like because all time is now, it actually exists. So it's okay for you to have that question, but you're not there's nothing to lose from giving this a shot, and if it works for take it or leave it. Not everybody has to go with this. Not everybody has to resonate with this. This doesn't have to be the way everybody sees the world. And again, these are all offerings, and I'm just sharing my perspective and what resonates and what I know to be true. That's it. But if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, it is what it is. But I mean, if you can convince yourself, it will work. That's just the law. It's just the universe. It's nothing. Again, it's nothing ethereal. So right on. Oh, I'm going with it. I do think it's true. Well, good. And the fact that you think and it resonates, because at first it is just going to resonate. First, it's going to sound like a good idea. And like something inside you feels like, oh, like that sounds really good. And some people might think, oh, well, it's too good to be true. Reality can't be that simple. We overcomplicate everything so much. So many things are so much more simple than we make them out to be. There's complexity in all of it. There's complexity in how the universe, finds a way to bring all the cooperative components about. That's very complex, but we don't need to know about or worry about that complexion. That's not our job. Our job is to see it in our mind and know that we can hold it in our hand because we know that it exists. That is our only job. Our only job is our convincing ourselves that what we want is actually true. What we want is actually reality. But again, Morgan, you can't insist that you can't insist that the only situation that can work from this is that your lover like calls you or something, or you can't, insist that it has to look in that certain way. You have to let go of that completely because something better could come out. If you're convincing yourself and fully expressing yourself authentically, someone else who could be even better than the soulmate could come. Now, I'm not saying that that's the way it is going to happen, but I'm saying that's what you open up to is the fact that there could be even a better scenario than getting your soulmate back. You could find a new soulmate that's even better. You know what I'm saying? So just don't get too tied to it. But yes, all of this works. I don't want to get, who cares? If you get your hopes up, like what's the big deal? If you get your hopes up and you don't figure it out, she's the best. I'm sure, I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is. I love it. That's very funny. Anyways, we'll leave that be right now. Okay. Where was I? Subconscious receives impressions only through feelings of man. Okay, yeah. So the subconscious receives impressions only through of man and in a way known only to itself, gives these impressions form and expression. So again, we don't need to know how it's going to happen. We don't need to know how the subconscious out pictures what we impress upon it. We don't need to know or worry about that or worry when it's going to come or how it's going to come. We don't need to worry about any of that. All we need to do is get out of the way for in order to allow it to come. And in the meantime of allowing that pregnancy to be birthed, we need to just find ways to think better thoughts that allow us to feel as good as we could possibly feel in any given moment, to be grateful and appreciative of what we have already manifested in our life, and grateful and appreciative to what already exists, whether it's in our reality or not. It exists, and appreciate the fact that it's already there. Appreciate the fact that it already exists. Appreciate the fact, just get into a rampage of appreciation about your life and think thoughts that are different than what you are perpetually thinking over and over and over, year after year after year after year after year. That's how we get out of our own way. That's how we let ourselves be ourselves unconditionally, not worried about what other people think of us or how they'll judge us or how they'll respond to the way that we're changing. Because who gives a damn what people think? Because when you're deciding to change unconditionally, your close friend circle, your parents, your teachers, your colleagues, whoever is in kind of your inner circle, whether they're close to you or not, they're going to see you start changing and unconditionally, and they're going to start wondering, and they may even ask you like, what's got you so happy, or what's with you, you're acting so differently, but nothing's actually changed in your life, you're just acting differently. That means you're being unconditional. That means you are expressing yourself for its own sake. That means you're acting on your joy and your excitements for its own sake, not worried about what the outside needs to reflect to you right away. You're not worried about that because you're being unconditional. And yes, they will notice. And I get it because I'm an empath and I pick up on people's emotions and energies and mood changes and body language very, very like I feel it emotionally, right? Some people experience it more. But so I'm saying that because you're likely going to notice it, and likely people who are watching this live stream right now and who are into this mode of thinking, they are going to be feeling it more and seeing it more and noticing those reactions from others more than people who are just kind of going about their 9 to 5s or going about their life or creating their life unconsciously instead of consciously like all of us. But who cares if they notice? Who cares if they start commenting on it? That is like reason to celebrate right there, because you're being unconditional. And the more that you can be unconditional about it and start responding to what's already manifested in your life differently, even though nothing has changed, but you're responding to it differently and you're being more unconditional, that is victory in itself. And the more that you do that, the more you're impressing that to your subconscious that things always work out for you, that everything is great how it is. And then more and more and more of what you want and who you are can start finding you and coming to you. And then everything will just start flowing downstream from there. Opportunities will come, synchronicities will happen that will inspire you to take actions. And you'll just feel like, man, I don't work hard. I don't work a day in my life. Everything just starts happening in my life. And I just start responding to it in a positive way. Or I feel inspired action because I'm vibrating in a new vibration that is allowing things that I want and things that is actually who I am to manifest into my life. And so everything just seems so easy because I see it, I like it, I respond to it, I move forward. I see it, I like it, I respond to it, I move forward. And that is what being in the downstream flow of life is all about. And that is the way we are meant to live, people. That is the way we are meant to live. We are conditioned, we are conditioned, we are conditioned, which is fine. We came here to experience a little bit of conditioning so that we could overcome that and realize that we are way, way, way more powerful than just being conditioned by society or by our teachers or by whoever, that life is a certain way or it has to be a certain way or it has to be experienced a certain way, or it has to be believed about in a certain way. No, we are literally God itself. We are the creator. We are the creators of our own reality. We are the boss. We have all the power that we need, and we just need to get out of our own way and stop insisting that things need to look exactly like what we think they should look like. We need to stop thinking that there needs to be peace on earth right now. Doesn't mean that we need to start moving towards peace on earth, or that we need to, abandon that completely, but we need to stop reacting to the fact that there's not peace on earth right now. There's nothing wrong with that. When you're unconditional, there's nothing wrong with negative situations that are going on, because you're actually in the eye of the frickin' storm, and you can see all of the chaos going on around you, but you are grounded because you are choosing to be in alignment with who you really are as a person. And so when you do that, then things just naturally start to come, things naturally start to flow, and then you naturally start to shift into versions of yourself and versions of reality that have less and less chaos and more peace on earth. And then you just start living happily ever after, and you start expecting things to work out in your life. And that is how you really start to change. So cheers to that, guys. I'm feeling it. Not this, but I'm feeling like that energy. Cheers. I hope you guys are relaxing and having a great night. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Morgan, thank you, man. Thank you. Cheers, everybody. Anything that is resonating, or anything that you guys are going through, or if you guys just want to introduce yourself, everyone who's here, anyone who's here, just pop in the chat. Like, we don't have to just talk about Neville Goddard. We can get to know each other. We could talk about our manifestations, talk about what's going on, our ups and downs, our challenges, our triumphs, everything. And I just appreciate all of you guys being here right now. I'm your designated hype guy, I guess. Yeah, I love it. I appreciate it, man. Someone's got to be. And appreciate you synchronistically aligning with all of this, man. So thank you so much. And thanks for, the subscription and everything last week, man. And to all of you guys, I put out YouTube videos, and I'm at the beginning of it still. So anytime, if any of this resonates with you, if you just want to jump to the channel, or just hit the subscribe button, or hit the like button on this video, it would mean, on this live stream, it would mean the world to me. And I want to share with you guys the videos too. There's so much nature and things that I talk about in the videos that I don't necessarily get to in here, but it all kind of circles and cycles around. But either way, just appreciate everyone being here. We're already at 57 minutes. That's the longest one I've done so far. I'm going to keep going for a little bit. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like you guys are feeling this energetically, even though not all of you are chatting in here. I really feel like this is hitting home for some of you. And even if it's just one of you or whatever, like, it's my pat. Like, I just want to help all of you guys to be more of yourselves, to do the things that you've been waiting to do, that you've been waiting for the outside to change. You've been waiting for the outside world to change in order for you to be allowed to express your feelings, or express yourself, or jump into a new creative passion. Just stop waiting. No more fence sitting. It is time. The world needs us. The world needs our gift. The world needs us to shine our light more than ever, so that we can be leaders by example. And that is how we see change in the world, is by expressing ourselves outwardly. No more playing small. No more playing small. It's time to express ourselves out into the world the way that we wanted to, and we're excited to, when we decided to incarnate into this reality. So thank you guys so much, and cheers to that. The actions of man are determined by his subconscious impressions. His illusion of free will, his belief in freedom of action, is but ignorance of the causes which make him act. He thinks himself free because he has forgotten the link between himself and the event. Man awake is under compulsion to express his subconscious impressions. Man awake is under compulsion to express his subconscious expressions. So whatever you have been continuously impressing upon your subconscious, that is what you are going to be compulsively driven to continue to express in your life. If you don't catch those negative beliefs, if you don't catch those negative thoughts, and decide to be like, hey, I recognize that this isn't who I am anymore. This isn't what I want to feel. This isn't what I want to believe anymore. So I'm going to decide to consciously change this. And although the change won't be immediate, and although those negative belief systems that I used to give so much attention to because they kept me safe in the past, although that's what's been happening, I'm going to have faith that if I continue to notice when those negative beliefs fight for their lives and come back, that I can continue to say no to them and replace them with something that I already replaced them with. And the more that I do that and convince myself that whatever I decide to believe is what I can achieve, then the more I will impress the subconscious mind with who I really am. And therefore, the subconscious will outpicture and give birth to what and who I really am. Man awake is under compulsion. Yes. If in the past he unwisely impressed himself, then let him begin to change his thought and feeling, for only as he does so will he change his world. Again, you can't be waiting for the outside to change. I'll say it over and over. Redundancy is not bad. Sometimes we need it in order to ingrain it into our life. Don't be afraid to be redundant with your belief systems and continue to be like, hey, I changed this. Hello, I changed it. And don't push your negative belief systems away or condemn them or say that they shouldn't be there, that they shouldn't exist. Be unconditional about it. Like the God that you are, unconditional about it. Don't push them away because that only adds more resistance and that only gives them more fuel and more power to come back and punch you in the face. The more unconditional and loving you can be to those negative belief systems and those negative thought forms or whatever, or negative situations in your life, the more easily you will be able to let them go because you're not letting them have so much energy and pull on your heartstrings that they're actually real, because it's all just an illusion. You decide the meaning. Everything is neutral. So you get to decide what the meaning is to every belief system. So don't push it away. Don't add more resistance than is actually necessary. Do not waste one moment in regret, for to think feelingly of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. So if you're feeling regret of your past, if you're feeling the regret of mistake, if you're feeling the regret of time wasted on whatever might be in your life that has not been something that you've enjoyed, or belief systems that you have not wanted to keep around, the more that you think feelingly about those things, whether it doesn't matter what the feeling is. If you're feeling negative about it, you're continuing to keep it in your belief system. You're continuing to keep it in your consciousness. And so then you're continuing to impress it to your subconscious, and it will continue to outpicture itself. It's unconditional. It doesn't matter. That's why it's so important that we know that, because if the subconscious is unconditional, just like God is unconditional, then we can know that we can change ourselves, and the subconscious doesn't care. If it's been perpetuating a negative belief system and negative experiences and a negative cycle and loophole that we've been experiencing, and it's been doing that, then it can do the same thing with positive energy. It can do the same thing with positive belief systems. So just know that, just know that, just know that, just know that. Let that seep in, let that hit your heart. Don't waste a moment in regret. Don't waste a moment in regret. It happened. It's done. It happened. It's done. It's over. It's not you anymore. It does not have to be you anymore. You do not have to continue thinking about it or resonating with it or thinking feelingly about those things. You can let it go. It's all done. Create yourself anew. Let the dead bury the dead. That's a Bible quote. I'm sorry. Once again, I do not have the exact quotes, but this is all in the Bible. This is where he gets all of this. Neville Goddard, everything that he has taught ever is from the Bible. So just know that. Let the dead bury the dead. Turn from appearances and assume the feeling that would be yours were you already the one that you wish to be. Feeling a state produces that state. Feeling a state produces that state. You understand? The part you play on the world stage is determined by your conception of yourself. We're all playing a character. We're all playing a character. We're much more than these human bodies. We're much more than these personalities. We're always channeling different things. We can decide to channel a different version of ourselves. We can decide to do it at any time. Morgumi, I understand. Yes. Let it radiate from your brain, man. The more that you understand, yeah, it's going to start seeping in. So thank you. Thank you for that confirmation. So the part you play on the world stage is determined by your conception of yourself. So by feeling your wish fulfilled and quietly relaxing into sleep, you can cast yourself in a star role to be played on Earth tomorrow. And while asleep, you are rehearsed and instructed in your part. Okay. Here we go. And we'll probably end the night with this. This has been great, but this will take a little bit of time, so don't go anywhere. Every single paragraph that is in this book can be talked about for an hour. And I've been talking about it for over an hour. So yeah. Cheers, everybody. Thank you. So let's take that apart. We are characters on a stage, right? The stage is Earth, the stage of life. We can all put on a different mask at any time. That's why don't put so much weight upon how you're expressing yourself in your life. If you want to try on a different mask, if you want to play a different character for a little bit, just do it. Have fun with it. It's not so serious. Don't take yourself or life so seriously. It's okay to play that part. And by playing that part and being willing to like play a part or wear a mask, if you want to look at it this way, that maybe you've been wanting to explore. Maybe you've been wanting to explore different moods or different personality or a different way of expressing yourself to people and your friends. If you've been wanting to try that, just try it. What's the big deal? Who cares what they think? It doesn't matter. But what you're going to get from that, from doing that and wearing that different mask and portraying a different character, is you're going to understand, okay, this either works and I love this, or it's not exactly right. It's a little bit pushed, it's a little bit forced, and then you can rework it a little bit. You can rework it. Don't put so much pressure on it. Don't guilt yourself or shame yourself for having tried a new character and maybe you made a mistake or maybe it didn't work out or whatever the case may be. Don't worry about that. Don't put pressure on yourself about it. You're literally giving yourself the opportunity to decide who you want to be. Try on all the masks, try on all the different characters, express yourself differently. Try to remember what you expressed yourself like as a kid and start doing that and let that being on the stage. So the part you play on the world stage is determined by your conception of yourself, the character that you play. By feeling your wish fulfilled and quietly relaxing into sleep, okay? So by feeling your wish fulfilled while you quietly relax into sleep. So you're in that drowsy state right before you're going into sleep. That's like the gold nugget. That's like the manifestation zone, if you want to call it that. That's kind of cool. The manifestation zone is that drowsy, sleepy state when you're so relaxed, you're about to fall asleep, but you're still awake. You want to maintain that state of consciousness as long as you can, so that you can keep replaying what you're imagining and keep replaying what you want in life and who you want to express yourself like. Keep replaying that, because that is how you impress the subconscious and where you impress the subconscious the most powerfully. So by feeling your wish fulfilled and quietly relaxing to sleep, you cast yourself like an actor in a movie or a play. You cast yourself in a star role because you are the star of your reality. You are the main character of your reality. You are the main character. So you're the main character of reality. So you cast yourself as the star role to be played on Earth. Great hair, dude. Hey, thank you. Charisse, my chérie amour, 420. Thank you. Really appreciate that. It always means a lot to me. Appreciate it. The light just shines perfectly on it, I guess, right now. Thank you so much. Thank you for dipping in the chat. Appreciate you. We're doing these every Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays around 6 or 7 Mountain Standard Time. So appreciate you being here and dropping in. We're talking Neville Goddard, the laws of the universe. And it's been great. We've been doing this for about an hour and 10 minutes. It's awesome. It's always an opportunity to just kind of take I like anything Neville Goddard. Let's go, dude. Well, then you're in the right place, because I've literally been talking about Neville Goddard. And we're reading Feeling is the Secret, by the way, the chapter about sleep. So that's what we're going in right now. But I've been talking about it for over an hour and it never gets old. I love it. And I just want to share it. And if you're a big Neville Goddard fan, you know how he talks and how his language is. It's like every little paragraph, right, is like so jam packed with so much information that you have to read like over and over and over to be like, what is he talking about? So that's kind of what I'm doing here is I'm just being in the place where we can read this and we can dissect it together. I can share with you guys, and the comment section is always here for any questions, any comments, anything, manifestations that you're working on, anything that's going on. This is a great place to just share it and just create this community where we're all being vulnerable, but we're also allowing ourselves to feel and express ourselves in the way that we want to, so that we can really allow ourselves to manifest in the way that Neville Goddard teaches from what he has learned from the Bible. So I'm only 23, so oh man, awesome. I'm only 23, so I'm happy to keep learning about this. Thanks. Keep it up. Dude, the fact that you're finding this at 23, I mean, your whole life is ahead of you. That is so awesome. That the fact that, you're an old soul, obviously, and to be that young and to be drawn towards something like Neville Goddard, man, it's gonna be awesome. So stay tuned, man. I mean, I appreciate you. I do a lot of YouTube videos and stuff. If you want to hop over to the channel, but again, if you subscribe, you'll feel 11:11. Is it really? Oh yeah, it's 8:11 over here. Hell yeah, man. Synchronicities all over the place. I love it. I love it. I love it. East Coast, huh? Over on the east. I love it, dude. 11:11. The fact that you're doing this at 11:11, what a great synchronicity that you came on a couple minutes right before, and you're a Neville Goddard guy, and here we are talking the Neville Goddard stuff. Thanks for sharing the synchronicity. I really appreciate it. It's only 10:11 on the East Coast. Oh, where are you? Oh, in Florida. Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Right on. Wow, is it really? Here we are. Time is an illusion, man. I don't know. It just feels weird. It's all an awesome thing. But yeah, we're gonna keep talking about. We'll do this again on Thursday and stuff. But yeah, man, if you resonate with the energy and Neville Goddard stuff and everything self-development, hop over to my channel, check out some videos. But regardless, I mean, no pressure. Appreciate you being here. And cheers. I mean, we just like relaxing here and enjoying the evening. So we're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon, guys. So yeah, we're just talking about the world as a stage, baby. Play the character that you want to play. It's up to you. It's up to you and only you. And so you cast yourself in a star role to be played on Earth tomorrow. And while asleep, you are rehearsed and instructed in your part. So as you're falling asleep and you're assuming the wish fulfilled, and you're assuming that you already are the person that you want to be, you're assuming that you already have everything that you want to have, you're assuming that you're already experiencing everything that you want to experience. Once you finally fall off into sleep and you've been impressing that into your subconscious in that drowsy, sleepy state that you're in right before you fall off to sleep, once you fall asleep with all that excitement and all that energy that you're producing, doing those things, then what's going to happen is your subconscious is going to rehearse that part, is going to rehearse what you have projected upon it and impressed upon it that you want in your life, that you want to be, and what that you want to have. And then it's going to be instructed in your part. So the subconscious is like the director. So you're like the actor, and you're giving the director a lot to work with. You're showing, and I used to be an actor, so this is what you used to do. You try to give the director as much as you can from the script that you're playing. So whatever you're imagining, you're wanting to give them as many options as you can. You're wanting to give them something that they can work with. And so you do that by feeling deeply the excitement about what you're wanting to create in your life and who you're wanting to become. And when you do that in that drowsy state, and then you fall asleep in that state with all that excitement and all that good energy towards what you're wanting to create, then the subconscious is going to start instructing and directing its way to be manifested into your life. And then you just keep doing that night after night without expectation of what it needs to look like, or insisting on how it needs to come about, or when, or whatever. You just keep doing it, and you keep feeling it for its own sake. I'm scared that I'll fall asleep and get into that state where sleep paralysis manifests. Interesting. You're scared that if you fall asleep and get into that state, yeah, I don't know all the science behind that, but nothing that I've read from Neville or anything that I've looked up in this way has given me the impression that, because I mean, it's a natural state. It's just you're not. How do I explain this? It's a natural state, so it's nothing that is. It's nothing that you're sort of like producing in a way that is going to put you in a sleep paralysis state. From my experience, from my understanding of it, it's just that state of being that right before you're falling asleep, you just try to maintain that state of being where you're like all drowsy and like you're about to like nod off to sleep. It's like when you do this and you catch yourself and you're like almost asleep, but you're awake. It's that exact state. So there's no like, from what I know, like sleep, fear of sleep paralysis. You just continue to bask in the joy of what you're feeling about and what you're experiencing in your imagination that excites you so much, that imaginative act that you have created. You just keep looping that until you fall asleep. So there's really nothing to worry about or be dangerous about it. As long as you're sleep deprived and you sleep on your back, I get sleep paralysis. Oh, interesting. So is that just something that you've experienced in your life, sleep paralysis a lot? That's something that you kind of go through? As long as you're so you're kind of sleep deprived a little bit, Sharice, and you sleep on your back. I get sleep. Well, so what do? Do you like sleep on your side or something, or on your stomach, or how do you relieve yourself of that? Because I don't want that to keep you from like doing this, but I also don't want to do anything that like freaks you out or causes you to have, negative experiences. That's clearly the opposite of what all of this is about. Yes, I try to sleep on my belly. Yeah, it's the best. Oh, it's the best. I move around a lot, but side and belly sleeper definitely over the back. Creates some neck problems sometimes, but it feels really good. Well, if you can, get into that drowsy state while you are, imagining the state and something that you want, I'm sure you could do that on your side or on your belly. You don't have to be in a perfect meditation pose in order for any of this to work. Heading out. Thanks for the stream. Hey, Morgan. Thank you, man. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Thanks so much. Appreciate all the comments and good luck and keep going, man. We'll see you next time. Thank you. And I don't use headphones, so I play Neville's sounds next to my pillow. Nice. Oh, cool. So you just like listen. I've seen a lot of those like on YouTube. The freaking 10-hour Neville Goddard talking and stuff like that. Those are kind of nice to do. But I think that's good because that can like impress your subconscious a little bit as well. When you're doing that. Yeah, but I can't find a good one. Yeah, there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot. Yeah, I think that can be good for a little bit. Like, I think that could be actually great if you are wanting to if you're attempting to want to believe more deeply Neville Goddard's teachings, I know AI. There's a lot of AI voice of Neville Goddard. I've noticed that as well. Like you could tell that it's not him, but some of it's actually pretty good. It's like, man, I almost couldn't tell the difference or whatever. So I mean, take that as you will. But yeah, there's like way more AI Neville Goddard than actually his real voice. Unfortunately, it is tough to find, but it is out there. I've found it before. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So if you're like listening to Neville as you go to sleep, I think that's good to like really seep in these belief systems and his teachings. But I think eventually, at least what I would suggest or offer to you, Charisse, is because I mean I have done that in my life too, like where I just need to listen to something to fall asleep. So I totally understand that. But I'm starting to train myself to just put on like those Hertz, you can find those Hertz kind of music. And let that just kind of be like, there's no words to it, but it's kind of like creating that meditative state as you fall asleep. I would suggest, and this is something that I've been practicing, is just throwing those on and then getting into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, letting myself go into that drowsy, sleepy state, and then start nodding off into sleep while I am impressing the subconscious with the imaginative act that I'm wanting to have manifested or see in my life a little bit more. So I would suggest maybe trying that out. Brilliant idea. I play those while studying. Yeah, I know they're nice. That's the perfect way to like get in that relaxing state. So yeah, throw one of those on, whatever you got to do to relax, and just start like maybe do some breathing exercises to relax you even more, and just kind of to start clearing your mind. And then whatever feels the most exciting, whatever you're wanting to manifest or whatever, just create that imaginative act. It doesn't have to be long, and it shouldn't be long, because then you're thinking too much about it. It needs to be like a very easy to loop imaginative act that creates the most feeling and excitement with it. And then you just keep looping it over and over. So it could be you handshaking your future boss of your dream job, and you could just keep shaking his hand as he says, "Congratulations, you've earned it." And you just keep looping that, and you feel like your hand actually touching his hand, and you have to be in the first person, right? So if you're seeing it on a movie screen and you're seeing yourself in the third person, that's the difference between doing it right and wrong. So we have to be in the first person. So actually shake the hand, actually feel it, and start to create those feelings as much as you can. Loop it as much as you can, and then let it fall to sleep. And then you're sealing that instruction. So my problem is I end up over obsessing on the results. Yep. Too overly ambitious, and it's my curse. Well, I totally get that. And I've actually been talking about that a lot through this stream. So I don't know if you want to play back this stream from before when you got here at your nice 11:11 synchronicity. Maybe check that out, or I'll talk about it in future live streams too. But we're getting close. I've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes, so we're really it's been great. I mean, it's time has flown. It's great, but yeah, being too ambitious. Yeah, I get it. I've been there too, working way too hard, pushing and forcing myself into results. So take care, man. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, feel free to come back around, check out the channel. Have a great night. Good luck in those manifestations. And yeah, put on those hurts and loop it, man. You're in the right place at the right time. So thank you. Man, woman. Oh yeah, Sharice, my bad. I just say man. It's not a gender thing. It's just kind of my habit. So man, woman, my bad. But yes. Uh yeah, appreciate the reminder on that. But just know that yeah, but I will do my best. Good night, my friend, and sweet dreams. Happy manifesting. Thank you for dropping in. We'll see you again. And yeah, continue to dive into the Neville Goddard. Being 23 and in the Neville Goddard is an amazing thing. So you got a lot ahead of you. So have a good night. See you guys later. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Everybody, thank you so much for everybody who participated in the stream. For those of you who are watching this back after the fact, I appreciate you so much. It really is my passion to share this with all of you, and I appreciate all the chats tonight. Thank you for sharing what you've been going through, and let's just continue to make this be an open connection, where we can just state our ups and downs and everything that we're going through, and continue to grow together and continue to live the lives that we're supposed to live and express ourselves the most authentically that we can. So thank you so much. And thank you to everybody new who came along this night. And I love you very much. Love, peace, happiness. Please hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel. I got a lot of videos that are in the realm of this. I take you out in nature a lot. They're all in nature so far, and I just love sharing it. So thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.